Hello and welcome back to the Faith and Culture Show. I'm Catherine Camp, your hostess for the show. This is where we really try to dig in and learn about things going on in our culture in order to have those conversations that count, conversations with an eternal perspective. And today we're going to meet someone new. This is Pastor Nate Oyloe. He is the founder and director of Agape First Ministries. He was formerly the senior pastor of the Twin Cities Justice House of Prayer and executive director of Outpost Ministries. Nate has ministered to the sexually and relationally broken. I was going to say rationally broken. We have a lot of those people around. He is also a worship pastor and has a passion to see night and day prayer and worship fill the Twin Cities. Wow. Me too. Nate has taught both locally and nationally on issues of biblical gender, sexual, and relational brokenness, and the redemptive power of God. Most recently, Nate has partnered with the Minnesota Family Council to fight legislative harmful to churches. I'm so excited to talk to him right now. Let's get him on and find out more about his ministry and his, where he is in life, and kind of like his journey. So I want to welcome him to the Faith and Culture Show.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, nice to meet you. I've heard good things about you from our mutual acquaintance, Vicki Joy Anderson. Oh. And I don't know why I called her Nikki. Anyhow, she is such a sweet person. And she said, you really have to reach out to him and talk to him. So I said, okay, let's do it.
Absolutely.
So thank you for responding.
My pleasure. It's good to be with you. And, maybe I need to actually update my bio. I liked the rationally broken because that works. That fits.
Especially today.
It really does.
It's so irrational what's happening in our world.
To the point that I never thought it would get to. We always knew that this was coming, but now that it's here, it kind of takes your breath away at how ludicrous it is.
Well, and it's happening faster and faster and at more, I guess, faster. It's more frequent, and it just gets bigger and bigger and more blatant in our faces. Yeah. That's why. Right before we came on, I said, we are in the fire right now. And Christians, a lot of them don't know how to respond. Mm-hmm. So they hide. Yeah. And they just pretend it's going to all go away. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? It hasn't gone away. No. I think the reason why Vicki Joy wanted us to talk is because one of the first ways that God just kind of booted me into ministry was to speak up to the churches and ask them to really think about how they were going to handle the sexually diverse issues. Mm-hmm. And this was back 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that's how he kind of really pushed me in to full-time ministry. And so when I was talking to Vicki Joy, she just said, you know what? I know the right person for you to connect with on this. And so I am very excited to hear your story, if you want to talk about that, and about your ministry, because it's really hard for the average person to reach out to sexually diverse people or who are in that practice of living their life that way, because we get so many mixed messages from the media, and it's destructive. Mm-hmm. So talk to us.
Absolutely. It is destructive. Well, my story in a nutshell, there were certain things that happened in my childhood that set me up for my own struggle with same-sex attractions. Things like my parents' divorce, trauma in the home. It was a broken situation. And even though my parents really desired to love me well and did the best that they could, there's just a lot of brokenness. generational stuff, spiritual warfare stuff. I mean, there's, the whole list, of
Yes.
things that could go wrong. And so even though I was growing up in a very different time, I mean, this was like the late 80s, early 90s, where, homosexuality wasn't talked about the way that it is today. It wasn't on TV like it is. And I'm very grateful for that. I was growing up in small town America where, there wasn't a gay community or anything like that. So on one hand, I was insulated and protected because of that. But even still, the enemy was able to get through and lie and all the things that the enemy does. And so by the time I got to 18 years old, I was struggling with same-sex attractions. It was all internal. Like I said, there was really no community that I could get involved in. But alongside of that, I was growing up in the church, and I really love God. I loved God from a very early age. I felt a call on my life into ministry at a very early age, but I didn't know how these two parts of my life were ever going to come together. I knew that homosexuality was not God's best for me. And it was a real struggle. There was a lot of shame around that. It was very intense because, I would read the Bible and see, Jesus would just touch somebody and they'd be healed. And I'd say, okay, God, well, I don't want this. Just touch me and be healed. Yeah, I'll be healed, But seemingly at the time, nothing really happened until I turned 18 and I moved from small town America to Minneapolis, St. Paul in Minnesota to go to college. And I was terrified because I thought, I've lived in the safety of small town America and I've been really protected. Now I'm in the big city and God, what's going to happen? I don't want to be gay. But I have all these feelings that I don't know what to do with. And God was really gracious to me, and he brought somebody into my life, and she told me about a local ministry that helps people to bring their sexuality into agreement with their faith. And I thought, well, I've been looking for that for the last 18 years. So I jumped in right away. And that really was a lifeline for me. I think it saved me from just a lot of experiences that I didn't have to heal from because I didn't have them. And in my time of healing and recovery, God really did some amazing things in me. I mean, healing family of origin wounds and setting me free from those generational bondages. And I found that as that was happening, as I was submitting my life to Jesus, which is, the first step in our healing journey, if we really want to get healed. But as I brought my life under his lordship, I saw that he was starting to make my life fruitful. And so it was a really exhilarating, amazing time. Certainly it was very hard as well. But that was probably 30 years ago.
Wow.
And eventually I got married, and my wife and I will hit 20 years this fall, 20 years of marriage.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I know, it's exciting. We made it. And we have 3 amazing children. I've got 2 boys and a girl, Isaiah, Noah, and Esther. And, it's really amazing. I always tell people, the enemy was working overtime to shut down the bloodline in my life, the seed from going forth.
Hey, thanks for watching the Faith and Culture Show. If you'd like to continue this particular episode, please go to the Rumble link below or click on the QR code and join me on the Free Speech platform over there. Look for the name of the episode and start about the 10-minute mark. I hope to see you there.